by the HNN project. Sorry, so what is the HNN 3.0 project? We are aiming at building together useful resources for other NCP and also for applicants, just like the event we organized today. We are a consortium composed of 16 different partners from 16 different countries. And so please, I kindly ask you to do not hesitate to visit our website to get more information on our various activities. So we'll have this morning 24 pitches of applicants, either looking for expertise to complete their consortium or offering their expertise to join a consortium. I would kindly ask participants to not exceed the 5 minutes per pitch. And I will now give the floor to the first participant, Andras Diniz. Hello, Andras.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so it's up to me to start, and I hope it will be a great session. I have 5 minutes, so let's jump into it. I'm András Diniz from Hungary. I'm leading Biotalentum Limited, which is a SME, and I would like to talk about some endocrine disruptor issues. Next slide, please. So what my company is doing is related to 3 calls on the endocrine disrupting chemicals, and of course this is related to the exposome and human exposome. And besides that, I'm also coordinating a project on advanced therapy medicinal products, a Horizon 2020 project. So extending it to clinical trials would be also important. Next slide, please. So myself, I'm founded 18 years ago Biotalentum Limited. I'm a professor in Hungarian and other universities as well, and I'm experienced coordinator. Through Biotalentum, I scientifically coordinated 11 FP7 Horizon 2020 projects. And on this topic, on in vitro toxicology, we participated in 3 Horizon 2020 projects on alternative testing methods. And we are also CRO provider of such services to industry. So we plan to develop further in vitro and in silico methods, validation and industrial uptake. We also develop these human in vitro toxicology tools to understand human biology and related toxicology pathways, which was important for comprehensive safety for cardiotoxicity, multi-organ on a chip work, and related to that is AOP, advanced outcome pathway, and modeling aspects. Biotalentum, as mentioned, coordinating a ATMP preclinical development project on type 1 diabetes regenerative medicine. We are generating beta cells from human iPS and transplanting it into animals at the moment. We are also working on xeno islets in that project. So with all these projects, we also provide proposal submission services, management, dissemination, outreach, business development, regulatory contacts in a consortium, because we have a branch for that kind of services. Next slide, please. So what we can offer here on endocrine disruptor toxicology, we can perform and develop ISO quality control regulatory compliant assays to fill the human relevant gaps for regulatory decision support. It's a very important part of the core. And we can study specifically effects of ED chemicals and their mixtures, their metabolites. We can identify the biological and gene expression changes. and then create the modeling and predictions. And this is also important for industrial development of safer molecules. We have this own expertise in human toxicology, modeling regulatory issues, and also we develop novel gene-edited human reporter lines and tools. We publish that, so if you're interested, you can check it on PubMed and other sources. And we are interested in biomonitoring and environmental tox partners. So essentially, we would prefer to join a strong consortium, but if the consortium needs an experienced coordinator, I can also take that role. But the calls are very complex, so my expertise alone wouldn't be sufficient. And of course, if we join a consortium, as I mentioned, we can provide that proposal submission management and many other important aspects, including business development and regulatory. Next slide, please. So on this slide, you can see my contacts. 5 minutes is very short time, but you are most welcome to contact me on any of these resources. I'm very much available. Thank you very much, and I wish all of you a very successful morning.
Thank you very much, Andras. So now I will give the floor to the next pitch. And I welcome Svenja Diegelman. That's your turn. Hello, so we can see you, but not hearing you so far.
Hello.
Okay, hello.
Now it should work, okay? Yes, hello, my name is Svenja Diegelman. I'm based at the University of Klagenfurt in Austria. I'm affiliated with the Faculty of Management, Economics and Law, and specifically with the Department of Marketing. I completed an interdisciplinary PhD project with the focus on the topic of advanced care planning. As part of the project, I investigated Austrian citizens' barriers and facilitators to advanced care planning, and I also investigated systematically different existing advanced care planning interventions. As part of another project, I focused on public awareness campaigns for the prevention of mobile phone use while driving. Yes, next slide, please. From the Horizon Europe work program, Cluster Health, I'm especially interested in one topic, the topic 0301, novel approaches for palliative and end-of-life care. Due to my last 4 years in the PhD project on advanced care planning, I already gained background and experience in the end-of-life care context. I'm also an active hospice volunteer for over 4 years now in the local clinical setting. The university where I'm based, the University of Klagenfurt, is part of JERUN, the Young European Research Universities Network. The university has a strong research focus. At our department, the Department of Marketing, we would like to contribute to a proposal related to the topic 0301. We would like to offer our social science expertise, and we have expertise particularly in marketing and communication, in behavioral science and ethics, and in social psychology. Next slide, please. Specifically, when we look at the call text, we would like to offer our social science expertise related to the issue of health literacy. We know that many EU citizens still have a low understanding and low level of knowledge in palliative care services. By adopting a social marketing approach combined with communication, we aim at sensitizing people for novel palliative care services. Next slide, please. Here you can see a display of our competencies that our research group at the University of Klagenfurt offers. We adopt a social marketing and communication approach. Social marketing is the application of responsible marketing to social and health change. By adopting a social marketing approach, it's a first step is understanding and insight. So here we can offer our expertise in generating insights and conducting social research from the perspective of patients and their families. We want to gain a deeper understanding what our communities' wants and needs, and what maybe concerns and fears do citizens have in relation to novel approaches for palliative care. Then the second step, social marketing, is based on the principle of co-creation. So co-creating programs and communications together with patients and citizens. Here we want to create messages that really resonate with people in order to reduce barriers to health literacy. We offer expertise in designing different types of messages, from written information materials to interactive media methods. And then lastly, here in green, the final step, we offer expertise in evaluating communication messages, testing them based on different types of communications. Overall, the aim is to reduce the barriers to health literacy of EU citizens in palliative care by adopting a systematic social marketing approach. Next slide, please. Yeah, to sum up, we are marketing and communication researchers, and we offer our expertise for the topic 0301. We have diverse expertise in social science research in various methods, and also we have expertise in developing innovative person-centered communication messages with people. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now go on to the next pitch, and now I welcome Joao Rodriguez. Sorry for the name. Please, the floor is yours.
Hi there. Can you hear me?
Yes, you can go.
Okay, great. So, my name is João Rodrigues. I'm a research funding advisor at the Fraunhofer Center for Assistive Information and Communication Solutions in Portugal, which is also known as ICUS. We are a partner seeking to join consortia in the context of the currently open Cluster 1 topics. So with that purpose in mind, I will briefly present our organization and our main interests and expertise concerning those topics. Next slide, please. ICUS is one of the research centers of the Fraunhofer Portugal Research Association, which is a non-profit research institution that was founded in 2008 and had two founding associates. On the one hand, Fraunhofer Gesellschaft, and on the other hand, the German-Portuguese Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Next slide, please. We have three research groups. The Intelligent Systems Group, which focuses on developing AI-based solutions that treat data to unveil hidden patterns and support decision-making. We have the Connected Things Group, which focuses more on creating hardware, firmware, and software to address challenges in the fields of the Internet of Things. And finally, we have the Human-Centered Design Group, which focuses on designing and evaluating technologies to meet the needs and solve the problems of different technology users. Next slide, please. A lot of what we do in ICUS is for the health sector, and even though it is not limited to what I'm about to say, a big part of our work actually consists of the development of AI-based solutions that allow patients to get access to early diagnostic and treatment, and also assist clinicians in making decisions for different medical conditions, such as cardiovascular diseases, different types of cancer, mental disorders, and others that are shown on this slide, where you can also see some specific examples of the things we develop. Next slide, please. In the area of AI, we also have, let's call it, cross-sector expertise in the fields of robust machine learning and explainable and trustworthy AI, through which we improve the robustness and reliability of machine learning models, and we add more transparency to AI systems. Next slide, please. These are just a few project examples that demonstrate our expertise in the areas I've just mentioned. I would just like to briefly mention the AI Scene for Med project, the last one on this list, because it is a project we are coordinating and was approved in 2022 under the Cluster 1 topic IND 1302. So in this project, we are basically using synthetic data to create a dataset system that can be used by data engineers, health practitioners, and researchers for experimentation and modeling purposes. Next slide, please. As for the Cluster 1 topics we are interested in, I would like to emphasize the 6 that are identified on this slide, where you can also find our main interests and the expertise we can bring to each topic. Regarding our expertise, I wish to point out that for topics that are numbered as 1, 2, and 3, we can develop and test inclusive digital technology to support self-care and patient-reported outcomes and promote mental health. We can integrate AI algorithms in edge devices, bring our experience regarding the storage of sensitive data, bring our knowledge of FHIR standards to develop mobile apps, contribute with our expertise in hardware design and sensor and firmware development. For topics number 4 and number 5, we can bring our expertise in the pre-certification of medical devices and clinical study for health technology assessment. And finally, for topic number 6, we can develop and test inclusive digital technology to support self-care and patient-reported outcomes, work with multiple source data in the form of images, time series, tabular data, and free text. And we can combine that data in machine learning models and perform causal discovery. And finally, we can also develop responsible and trustworthy AI tools and frameworks. So if someone in the audience finds any of these relevant, please contact me. I would be very happy to get in touch with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I will now go to Monica Florea for the next pitch. Please, Monica, it's your turn.
Hello, my name is Monica Flora. I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
Okay. I'm Monica Flora again. I'm the head of unit of European Project Department in Software Imagination and Vision, on short CIMAVI. CIMAVI is a software company located in Bucharest, in Romania. Just few words about our company. You can go on the next slide, please. I just want to highlight that we are doing software development and integration in several fields like e-health, security and cybersecurity, e-learning and e-training, e-customs. We have many government projects, and we have also a department, the e-agriculture department. We are using the different technologies in all the applications that we develop: artificial intelligence, big data analytics, data IoT platform, DSS, GIS solutions, mobile application, augmented reality, virtual reality. We also play the role of integrator because we have a lot of experience in integration and interoperability. And we do have a lot of expertise in research and development projects. We are running more than 45 Horizon 2020 projects. We coordinate 5 of them, and for the rest, we play the role of technological partner. Also, we are starting now 13 new Horizon Europe projects, and we coordinate 2 of them, for the rest playing the role of technological partner. Our competencies in all these projects is to develop different software tools, platforms, but also user interfaces. We are playing the role of integrator in most of the projects because of our expertise in interoperability. And also we have a lot of expertise in digital content development for training, for developing some realistic simulations using extensive reality technologies like augmented reality, virtual reality. And apart from this, in most of the projects, we are responsible with pilot deployment and implementation in Romania, some other neighboring countries. We have a lot of experience in the deployment of the pilots, and we can bring in the consortium, depending on the topic and the needs of project, different stakeholders, from health, hospitals, health-related organizations, public administration, different type of law enforcement agencies, or some other stakeholders that might be needed depending on the topic of the project. You can go on the next slide, please. I will focus now our health competencies. Health sector is a sector of high interest to us as a company. We implemented in Romania different solutions at national level for the Ministry of Health. We started with the IT system for the management of health insurance fund. That actually we implemented also in Bulgaria. And in Romania, we implemented some other solutions like e-prescription solution, electronic health card, electronic health record. We implemented different telemedicine pilots. So we have a strong collaboration with many hospitals in Romania and other health-related organizations, medical schools, medical universities, and so on. And we collaborate together with them in some research and development projects. Please go to the next slide. We collaborate with these health stakeholders in many research projects, Horizon 2020 projects, ambient assisted living projects that now are finalized, but also Horizon Europe projects that we just started. We offer in these projects and we develop different personalized platforms, AI-based solutions, but also, for example, telemonitoring, telerehabilitation applications, different data IoT platform, digital twins for example, a virtual coach using augmented reality, virtual reality, diagnostic and monitoring support tools, or for example, healthcare cybersecurity for connected medical devices. We are also, we have a lot of expertise also in developing different expert systems, machine learning, artificial intelligence technologies. And also we collaborate, as I mentioned before, with many stakeholders. You can go on to the next slide. I just want to highlight that we participate in different topics and different projects. I mentioned here Deep Health Project. We participate on the other slide on some other projects like, for example, Sphinx Project or a project called MESCOBRAT. And you can go on to the next slide. And I just want to highlight that in all the projects, we can offer the technical competencies, but we can also help in the building of the projects. We do have expertise in the preparation of the projects. We identify many topics of interest in cluster number 1. And I put in the end my contact details, and I will be glad to collaborate with those of you that are interested in developing some projects together. And thank you very much for the opportunity of presenting our competencies. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Monica. It's now the turn of Zoltan Balog. Please go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. This is Zoltan from Budapest. I'm looking for partners for the pragmatic clinical trials of minimally invasive diagnostics. And during my presentation, I would like to show you how imaging of minimally invasive procedures can be performed on the next level with our KINAPICT technology. So, in short about our technology, KINAPICT enhances dramatically the quality of X-ray angiograms used in interventional radiology procedures and vascular surgery. This means that in case of cancer cases, KINAPICT reveals lesions and feeding arteries in case of tumors and visualizes tissue blush and small vessels, for example in prostatic artery embolization cases. Our additional value is that we can reduce the radiation dose used during these procedures by 70%. And this is a very important point because X radiation by itself can cause cancer on the long run. And this is very harmful for the physicians and for the patients also. I must emphasize that we are also able to reduce the iodinated contrast agent volume by 50%, and CO2 gas can also be used as a contrast media. And this is important in case of patients with low kidney function So these are our main values. And of course, our technology is CE marked and FDA cleared. And I'm happy to provide our technology for the call about minimally invasive diagnostics. Next slide, please. I would like to show you some examples generated by the Kinepic medical imaging tool. You can see 3 image pairs. In the orange frame, you can see the Kinepic image. And I think it's pretty obvious that on the left, if we reduce the radiation dose by 70%, the image is still clear and visible. And in the middle, you can see the imaging with CO2 gas. We can provide a very high image quality. And on the right, you can see that even with 50% reduction of iodinated contrast media, the capillaries in the brain are clearly visible. And this is very important in case of patients with low kidney function. Next slide, please. Of course, we can do color-coded imaging, and this helps the physician to see the arrival time of the bolus to the different parts of the anatomical region the medical expert studies or examines. This is a prostatic artery embolization case. Before and after embolization, I think it's pretty clearly, it can be seen pretty clearly the tissue blush on the left image and the absence of this phenomena on the right. Next slide, please. Our third value is mainly about movement artifact removal. So on the left, you can see a liver transarterial chemoembolization case where there is a very huge movement artifact, but with the Kinepic's technology, the so-called motion-free imaging, you can see the vessels very clearly and without any motion artifact. And in case of liver tumors, this kind of motion artifact happens all the time. So it's very important to use this motion-free technology because this can reduce the X-ray dose by itself. Next slide, please. So of course, we have our clinical studies published in peer-reviewed journals. I'm happy to share these results with you if any of you is interested. Next slide, please. So to sum it up, I'm very happy to provide our technology for the call pragmatic clinical trials of minimally invasive diagnostics. Mainly, I am looking for clinical institutions to conduct clinical trials for us, and I'm happy to provide our technology to clinics and hospitals all around the world. And please don't hesitate to contact me if you have any questions. And as a final line, I would like to emphasize that with this technology, we were one of just 38 winners of the EIC Accelerator Grant in 2021. So I'm happy to provide this fantastic technology to you. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much for your presentation. And now I will ask Matthias Blum to take the floor for his presentation. We cannot hear you, Matthias.
Is this better?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you, everyone. I'm Matthias Blom from Rhino Health, based in Israel. So we are a deep tech company that specializes in various approaches to distribute the development and deployment of artificial intelligence and machine learning algorithms. Federated learning is one of them, but the platform also extends to much more. We're primarily interested in supporting consortia and joining consortia for destinations 3, 5, 6 and the mission cancer call as well to supply our expertise and technology platform. And I think the background around why federated learning and distributed compute is relevant, you may be familiar with already. But long story short, centralizing data can be challenging due to data privacy concerns, losing governance over data, and other related factors. So what we do is that we have developed a platform that would let you analyze data, develop algorithms on that data, but also deploy and test and validate algorithms on data while the data remains at rest behind institutional firewalls at all times. And if we move forward to the next slide, I can go into a little bit of level of detail on how it works. So the Rhino platform consists of two components. You install a client locally behind firewalls at the data owner. Could be a hospital or academic lab, or something like that owns and wants to retain control over their data. And by installing our platform there, they will remain in full control of the data, but they would still be able to collaborate with other sites. So say if you're a early stage medtech company that want to develop an algorithm for a clinical decision support system, or if you're a research consortia that is interested in developing a more generalizable and scalable AI model across datasets from a number of different hospitals, then you can use our platform to collaborate and dispatch the model or algorithm to these local sites, train it locally, and then no data will be transferred between the sites or to any central location. It's just parameters like model weights and components like that would then be transferred to the cloud and integrated into a global overall model that would perform much better and be more generalizable than if you were developing it on siloed data alone. And thinking about this, and there are some open source frameworks as well that you may be familiar with for federated learning in particular. But what we have done here with the Rhino platform is that we have developed this into a robust platform that you can use for AI development end to end. So instead of having to code up and set up bespoke frameworks and maintain those frameworks to run federated learning, our platform is less than 10 minutes to install. We have taken care of all the sort of IT plumbing for you. Communication is encrypted, IT connectivity, and all of that is taken care of. So it's very easy to use the platform. And we also extend it so you can do some of those upstream tasks that are also challenging in federated learning, in particular, like exploring the data, doing quality checks and things like that, is typically, like in a typical federated learning experiment, you would rely on local data scientists to do those operations. We let you interact with the data without removing it. So you can use our platform and you can explore the data, say plot statistical distributions. You can also do data harmonization across different sites. So you can basically, if you have different data models on the different sites, you still want to collaborate, but you don't want to centralize the data in one place. You can then upload containers to our container registry, push them to the edge, and transform data behind hospital firewalls to make sure that it adheres to the same common data model, so you can run successful analytics on top of it. So we're basically a one-stop platform for doing both the data preparation, harmonization, algorithm development, and algorithm deployment in a distributed fashion. And we think that this can be particularly powerful in these jurisdictions where data privacy laws are even stricter, since you remain in control over the data at all times and never have to move it outside the hospital firewalls. If we move to the next slide. So with that overview of the platform and what it can do, like I think what differentiates us then mostly in regards to say bespoke frameworks and open source software that you can use for a similar purpose is that we really doubled down on many of these features that makes usage of the platform transparent. So we have like logging features that make it very easy to audit the platform. You can audit any action that has been undertaken, which helps establish trust between collaborators. Many of our clients that use the platform are, for example, academic hospitals that want to collaborate with industry, or academic hospitals and research consortia that are interested in commercializing algorithms that they build. And then by virtue of these privacy and security features and logging features, it becomes very easy to make sure that no one uses the platform for things it's not intended to. We also have deep features for IP preservation. Model weights are encrypted to make sure that only the owners can view them and things like that. So rounding it off, we're looking to join consortia for these calls in order to supply our platform and also expertise related to distributed algorithm development, data harmonization, and such. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Matthias. I will now give the floor to the next person. Mathieu, I will very do it badly with your name, so maybe I just don't pronounce it. Welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, everyone. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. I'm honored to present our proposal for cooperation between Horizon project calls. Before that, I would like to thank the organizers for the opportunity to speak and select me for the live presentation. Now we can move to the next slide, please. I would like to offer our competencies and scope of research within the following three calls. Planetary health, and we offer our expertise applies to the identification of chemical, physical, and microbiological hazards, including pollution identification, measurements, impact on the environment and human health, exposure estimation, and health risk assessment. And the second call is divided to endocrine disrupting chemicals, and we offer identification of endocrine disruptors, determination different kinds of samples, including environmental, food, and biological types, ESS assays to detect estrogenic, androgenic activities, impact on environment and human health, exposure estimation, health risk assessment. And the third one is the role of environmental pollution. And we offer the pollution identification, analytical measurements, impact on human health, exposure estimation, and health risk assessment. We can move to the next slide, please. We specialize in assessing the impact of the environment, including physical, chemical, and biological factors on human health. We are the only one in Poland to conduct environmental health studies. We performing laboratory and field studies related to the chemistry and environmental ecotoxicology, including various pollutants and samples. Understanding the processes involved in the interaction of pollutants within the environment, in prevention, reduction, and mitigation of their human and ecotoxicological impact. More information available on our website, which is on the slide. We can move to the next slide, please. We are equipped with modern analytical equipment and cooperate with other units of our university, including the University Clinical Center. Our laboratories are equipped with a lot of analytical measurements like chromatography, gas chromatography, including the ecotoxicological analysis like microtox, in vitro tests. We can move to the next slide, and we can answer why should you choose us. And below are some statistics confirming our experience. We published 25 articles from the last years in the area of environmental health. Also, details are available on our website. We conducted 6 scientific projects in the area of environmental health, and the last years are also finished with 2 patent applications. One of them is devoted for the simplifying the gas chromatography determination of polar metabolites of phthalates, which are used as plasticizers in human blood. And the last one is the method with the new equipment for the testing of migration pesticides to the fruit and vegetable peels. and application, and after that we can measurement the diffusion of pesticides between the human skin, also including the environmental samples. Thank you very much, and please feel free to contact with us. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now welcome Diana Stepanian from ERINA.
Good morning, everyone. Hope you hear me well and you see me well.
Yes.
Thank you very much to organizer for organizing this event. So I'm Diana Stepanian, Director of External Affairs for the European Research Infrastructure on Highly Pathogenic Agents, with a legal seat in Belgium, but which is a distributed infrastructure. Thank you for changing the slide. So ERINA is a distributed organization with members throughout Europe. So we are dedicated to the study of highly pathogenic microorganisms, so epidemic-prone, pandemic-prone, and high-consequence pathogens. We bring together facilities and key expertise from leading European countries. So as you see, we have 10 different countries involved within the ERINA organization, providing expertise and facilities that are Institute for National Institute for Health from Portugal, National Institute for Medical Research from France, Public Health Agency from Sweden, National Biosafety Lab from the Ministry of Health of Hungary, Erasmus Medical Center from Netherlands, Catholic University of Leuven, from Belgium, Medical University of Graz from Austria, Institute for Health, Carol Street from Spain, University of Oxford from UK, and Institute for Medical Research Infectious Diseases from Italy. Next slide, please. So we broker access to all the key high containment facilities coming from our members. So these are the biosafety level 4 and biosafety level 3 and 3+ laboratories, and we provide this coordinated access to support research on epidemic-prone pathogens. So the idea is that we can provide and support large-scale projects where no single institute or a country on its own is not able to support. So mainly all key expertise to develop countermeasures on epidemic-prone pathogens. Next slide, please. So in the framework of the health cluster work program, we are mainly interested in calls on pandemic preparedness and response, with a key focus on broad spectrum antiviral therapeutic for infectious diseases with epidemic potential, but also two others where high containment expertise and facilities may be required. The one on understanding vaccine-induced immunity and immunogenicity of viral proteins of viruses with epidemic and pandemic potential. Next slide, please. So what ERINA offers? ERINA and our member facilities offer expertise and also facilities that are level 3 and level 4 and are required for performing research on epidemic-prone pathogens that are classified as risk group 3 or risk group 4 pathogens that are they can be the coronaviruses, SARS-CoV-2, or viruses needing BSL-4 environment, like Command Congo hemorrhagic fever, Nipah virus, and other deadly viruses. So we provide access to in vitro research, so supporting virologic assays, development of new in vitro assays and methods. So it includes analytical capabilities such as titers and neutralization, through high throughput antiviral therapeutic screening assays, 2D, 3D cells models, and other capacities that are needed for in vitro research in a high containment environment. For in vivo research, we provide for preclinical vaccines and therapeutic tastings, large variety of animal models from small rodents to NHPs. We develop also new models according to the needs of the project for pandemic research. And we also provide in vivo virologic and immunological assays. Additionally, ERINA is able to provide coordination of preclinical research activities, project setup management, and research protocols and experimental design activities. Next slide, please. So we have a large experience in epidemic-prone pathogen research together with our members. So only just to quote a couple of projects where ARENA is currently involved, that the one we called Integrated Services for Infectious Disease Outbreak Research that are supported, coordinated by ARENA, newly started contract projects for development of medical measures, countermeasures against CBRN threats, where ARENA support biological threats under European Defence Funds, and a number of others coming from our members from national, international, and European fundings for all range of hyposeconds and epidemic-prone pathogens. Thank you very much. You have on the next slide my contacts for ARENA, contact ARENA EU.
Thank you very much. It's now to Ilka Vananen to present the expertise.
Okay, good morning and greetings from Finland, the most happiest country in the world. My name is Ilkka Väänänen and I'm working as a senior researcher and adjunct professor at Lab University of Applied Sciences in Lahti. And I would like to pitch our project idea to the work program Health, Environment and Health to the topic 2, living and working in a health promoting environment. And the area of activity is shortly as occupational health. And the name of our project, if you can put the previous slide back, is the Vitality at Work. Okay, now the next one. So Lab University of Applied Sciences has a lot of expertise in multidisciplinary sciences like design, fine arts, health and social care and services, business, tourism and hospitality, and technology. We have over 8,000 students and about 500 teachers and RDI experts, and a lot of project experience, both international, European, and also national projects to the topic. And we have 2 campuses in the southern part of Finland, one in Lahti and one in Lappeenranta, which are the European Green Capital and LEAF Award winners 2021. And the next slide, please. The project design includes 6 work packages and 4 different working environments. And we are looking for the partners and the leaders for work packages 2, workers' well-being and health, 3, health promoting working environments and organization, 4, institutional change management. That's what we are planning, that we can be the leader, so we are looking for the partners for that. And 5, well-being society, and the last 6, dissemination. And the expected outcomes and deliverables can be seen on the slide as evidence-based interventions for promotion of mental and physical health in changing work environments, which are all those for hybrid work, GIG economy work, cross-border work, and jobs performed at clients' premises. And the next slide. So we are looking for additional expertise and partners from several sciences and also different companies, public authorities, trade unions, employer organizations, businesses, human resource management, and also algorithm design makers and digital worker performance monitors. And please, if you are interested in, I'll put the link to the chat. Fill the following form during the next week. If you manage to fill it till Wednesday, we appreciate. And of course, we are also interested in joining another consortium if there are other proposals already for this special topics. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm calling now Lisa Baldini for the next presentation.
Good morning, can you hear me?
Yes.
Good morning to everyone. I'm Lisa and I'm going to present you Clinico. Clinico is an innovative health facility with the institutional aim of providing both diagnosis and treatment services in the province of Piacenza. Next slide, please. Piacenza is a city which is situated in the Emilia-Romagna region, and you may know it's near Milan. The main goal is to become a real point of reference for people's health. Next slide, please. It is composed by a clinic where the best doctor at national level, such as, for example, we have Roberto Del Frate, who is a vascular surgeon, performs specialistic visits by appointment and with an efficient laboratory equipment carry out medical tests for an accurate diagnosis of various pathologies. Clinico aims to be the local reference point for a wide range of health and paramedical services aiming at protecting health in general, obtaining prompt diagnosis, carrying out specific therapies, and the general well-being of the person. Furthermore, it aims to be an important point of reference for the quality of services provided, customer satisfaction, and professional hospitality. Next slide, please. For this reason, the structure offers not only a very high number of medical services and excellent medical professional, but also activity promoting the psychophysical well-being of the person. Also pediatric activity for children from 3 to about 6 months. The company always creates an inspiring customer services philosophy, and it is based on the multidisciplinary service it offers. In fact, Clinico carries out its activity by promoting especially medical visit and surgical visit. It offers also a blood test services with a collection point where it's possible to process blood samples. Clinico performs also complete care or physiotherapy and osteopathy, also for children. And one of the main strengths of Clinico is the cardiology and the angiology. Clinico offers the outpatient surgery service in a high qualified first level operating room equipped with all the most advanced health technology for low intensity intervention concerning dermatological survey, orthopedic survey, cosmetic surgery, and minimally invasive surgery. Multidisciplinary is another strength of Clinico, and each doctor constantly follows the patient and guarantee the certainty of being able to obtain the expected results. Next slide, please. But the real question is, what is the real strength of Clinico? The multidisciplinary of the services provided? Absolutely not, because the real value added are people. Everything is person-centered. All the patients are followed from the beginning for the best treatment, and they are controlled also after the end of the treatment. Next slide, please. In fact, we have patients who come from each part of Italy, as you can see here from the picture. And actually, we are increasing this number more and more each year. Even during the COVID-19 pandemic, we had a stable number of incoming patients. Next slide, please. In these other slides, you can find all the destination and particular call in which Clinico is interested in participating. I mean, where Clinico is sure to give an important contribution based on its activity and its experience. And in particular, next slide, please. We are looking for a coordinator, the first and most important thing, and to establish good and long-term relationship also after the project. For the moment, we would be just a partner, but if we find a coordinator which needs some support from us to coordinate the consortium, we are able to do that. Moreover, all the personnel of Clinico is available to carry out different type of activity, has dissemination activity, evaluating activity, manage also the sustainability aspect of the project, and eventual implementation activity. Next slide, please. We offer our new structure to what you need. In fact, Clinico has just bought, I think 2 years ago, another facility that you can see here, the green one in the picture, to allow some research activity, and it's all available for any type of activity to implement. Clinico has stipulated various agreements with private insurance company, with local authority, and with various large company. And the objectives are pursuing compliance with the law and the principle of honesty and transparency. All employees and people involved in the activity of clinical are required to respect these codes. Next slide, please. So for now, that's all. I thank you very much for your attention and look forward to hearing from you soon. In last slide, you can find the main content details. So if you're looking for a partner, we are here for you.
Thank you, Lisa. It's now the next presentation by Peter Villax. So we cannot hear you so far. Neither see you on the screen.
Good morning. My name is Peter.
Okay.
I'm the founder of Medisos, and we've reached the point where we're in a position to offer user-specific information systems for the patient, for the doctor, for the regulator, but particularly for the researcher, using data that is collected from multiple sources, multiple hospitals, that is pseudonymized and interoperable, ready for use. Next slide, please. So we have an interest in a better integration of real-world data and electronic health records, but it's particularly the better integration of real-world data that interests us. And we're looking for hospitals, for data holders, the hospitals that have the data, and the data users, and those will be mainly research centers and scientists. Next slide, please. So our objectives are to launch and scale the Medisos digital health platform, and this is an ambitious project to collect data under patients' consent, and we're talking about real-world data. We intend to receive it from all participating healthcare and service providers, and particularly from our consortium members, in a process that is highly compliant with data privacy laws. And what we want to do this is to share the patient's history with the doctor at the time of the appointment or the treatment for individual patient treatment, and also to create new scientific knowledge from that data using data science. Next slide, please. So we've been 4 years of development. So we're not starting now. We started in 2018, and we've now reached the point where we offer a fully integrated system that is centered on the patient, that is highly compliant with GDPR. And we're offering consortium members the use of an e-health system that is ready for the use, primary use, which is treating individual patients, and secondary uses, research, creating new scientific knowledge from the large-scale processing of health data. And these are concepts from the European Health Data Space regulation, which is extremely important. And we're already developing as well a range of clinical support information systems, services that are of direct use to the doctor. Next slide, please. So we deal with the, hold on. We deal with the back office. We're a health data operator. We deal with user authentication, consent management, and compliance with the law. And we build a database which, thanks to patients' consent, next slide, comes to us from all the participating data holders, hospitals mainly. Next slide. And we use that data to share it with researchers and research organizations to produce algorithms and apply those algorithms to the data, the pseudonymized data that is stored in our database. We have no way of knowing patients' names, but we're able to re-identify them using an external server so that vital new information can be conveyed to the doctor. That's really important. Next slide. And this will be the continuation of this call. Our system is already designed to accept multiple software developers who develop health sector apps to be a part of our system and use our login system, which is a universal login system, store their data in our database, and be able to share the data with all their users. Next slide. So right now we have about 20 partners in Portugal. Of those, we've selected 4 Portuguese organizations for this call, including a major public hospital and a university. We're looking for 2 to 3 partners in the EU member states, particularly research organizations and hospitals. So please get in touch with you, info@mediseus.pt. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next presentation now from Pierre Leroy.
All right. Do you hear me?
Yes, it's good.
Yeah, great. I don't know why the camera. All right, so we'll try to activate it. Yeah, this works. So, hello everyone, I'm Pierre Leroy from Loch Ness Group. We are a small enterprise in France and we are focusing on cybersecurity. It's our main topic, our main goal, and I will show you why. So first, the topics we are interested in. I will not read them to you because on the broad scale of things, in every kind of work, when you have to do with data, compute, transfer, store, the cybersecurity must be included. And we are there to provide to every project who will need it a view and a skill on the cybersecurity approach for the health data. Could you go to the next? Thank you. So what are our expertise? Loch Ness Group will analyze, address, and create the cybersecurity solution you need for your project. And it's quite important because we believe in tailor-fit solution. We don't think that the old ways like created stronghold with a firewall to store data and process them will last for long, because in nowadays world with some technological breakthrough who are around the corner, the threats will be more fluid, more dangerous, and some of those strongholds will not hold. And we think that we need to have cybersecurity on the next level and in a next approach, like a fluid method, and with some access I will provide to you. Our team of specialized engineers will design the best solution to ensure the data security of your project on those axes. First, the data security. It's obvious, but it has to be dealt with. Gathering, processing, storing, sharing. I will say the best one. The performance. So security is always a constraint. It's always a factor that will impair the performance of your project or project. And our approach is to minimize this with state-of-the-art algorithm of encryption, of data transfers, optimizing technology. We can minimize the impact on the performance and scalability, because cybersecurity is not a fact. You're not secured for the long run. You can be secured today, but you can't be secured for the long run. So you have to make a system who can be modular, who can evolve as the threats evolve. So emerging solutions are today's standard passwordless authentication, post-quantum cryptographic algorithm can be integrated as they will progress. We have this approach. Thank you. To conclude, I will present to you a broad category of threats. First, the data corruption. This is use cases that we saw in real life. So we anonymize some of them to not give information, but that's occurred in real life. An unauthorized user can tamper the result of an AI-driven autonomous MRI machine capable of producing diagnostics. Based on those inaccurate images, the machine could not deliver a good diagnostic, and everything, or the work of everyone, is lost. Same issue on the digital identity theft and data theft. On a XR headset, an engineer working on the last test prototype is unable to log in. In fact, it's because an unauthorized user has logged in his place and is going to steal IP data. And machine-to-machine compromised communication is quite a dangerous one. I will not go inside it because I don't have the time frame to, but please know that we don't live in a safe world today. I'm sure you know it, and if you manage data, please ask for a cybersecurity expert, and that's what I can offer. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much. Next presentation from Yikian Sun. Please, the floor is yours.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for the organizers for giving me this opportunity to present our project. My name is Yikian Sun. I am a research scientist in epidemiology and biomedicine at Norwegian University of Science and Technology. We have biological samples to potentially investigate relationships of microbiota and metabolites in saliva with oral and general health. Next slide, please. Norwegian University of Science and Technology, acronym NTNU, is located in Trondheim, central Norway. NTNU has a main profile in science and technology and also has a great academic breadth, including medicine and health science. Next, please. Our overarching aim is to investigate the relationships of microbiota and metabolites in saliva with oral and general health in the HUNT study. Specifically, we will develop prediction models for non-communicable diseases such as cancer, dementia, cardiovascular disease with oral microbiota and metabolites combined with host genetic data using advanced analysis tools. Next, please. Since 1984, our university has carried out a population study, acronym HUNT. HUNT is one of the largest and the most comprehensive population surveys conducted in Norway with 4 waves. Approximately 123,000 participants, residents in our county participated at least one of the waves. And additionally, HUNT data is excellent source for genetic research. Approximately 88,000 participants have genetic data derived from array genotyping and imputation. Next, please. Next, please. Moreover, HUNT has also sub-surveys aiming for focused on different phenotypes and diseases. The HUNT for oral health study is one of them. It consists of a random sample of 5,000 participants in the HUNT for adults, and there are about 4,000 saliva samples collected from these sub-surveys, especially with a specific buffer for measurement of microbiota. In addition, 40% of these participants have also saliva stored without any buffer, which suitable to be measured to measure the metabolites. Next, please. We aim for different cause in different destinations, such as 0307, a relationship between infections and non-communicable diseases, and also 0504, which is not on the slide, better integration and use of health-related real-world and research data, including genomics for improved clinical outcomes. We're also open to other suggestions. Next, please. We seek a consortium and coordinator of interdisciplinary research using microbiota and metabolized data. We seek projects that investigate non-communicable diseases, also the budget to measure microbiota and metabolites in our biological samples, as well as expertise in advanced big data analysis. Next, please. We can contribute to the project as work package leader or partner. Our cohort can be linked with health-related registries in Norway, which makes this basically our data set is kind of can be used for hypothesis-free research. Our saliva samples are ready for measurement, microbiota and metabolites. We have expertise in epidemiology, genetic epidemiology, study design, and statistical analysis. We have also partners and facilities to analyze metabolites in the saliva. And we can find partners for advanced big data analysis. And thanks for your attention. And please contact me if you're interested in potential collaboration.
Thank you. We will now welcome Sabri Bromage for the next pitch.
Hello, everybody. My name is Sabri. I'm a nutritional epidemiologist and a research faculty member at the Institute of Nutrition at Mahidol University. My email address here, sabri.bro@mahidol.ac.th. Thank you very much to the organizers. It's really a pleasure to join you all today and briefly outline some of the institutional capacity and the research interests that my colleagues and I are positioned to offer to consortia as an international partner in the upcoming EC Health Cluster Work Plan. So just some background on this slide. Mahidol University, we're located in the Bangkok metropolitan area. This is the largest medical and health sciences university in Thailand. We have 3 teaching hospitals. We have the largest research budget of any university in the country. The Institute of Nutrition at Mahidol University, or INMU, is a WHO collaborating center for community nutrition and also food safety. We're also a FAO Center of Excellence, and we've provided regional leadership in different areas of nutrition and food over the past decades. We have actually extensive experience in dietetics, food science, nutritional epidemiology, nutrition training and promotion, and also analytical services related to food safety toxicology. We also host ISO certified labs capable of high-end analysis of functional foods and biological samples, and also measurement of body composition using stable isotopes, BOD-POD, and dual energy X-ray absorptiometry. And next slide, please. Just a snapshot of some of our ongoing work. We are currently leading a 3-year project funded by the Rockefeller Foundation, in which we're developing and validating novel diet quality metrics for use in nutrition surveillance in low and middle income countries. We're convening global consensus on recommended analytical methods for measuring key biomarkers of micronutrient status, as well as non-communicable disease risk in population surveys. And we're also constructing our own model reference laboratory to conduct routine measurement of key biomarkers key nutritional biomarkers in Southeast Asia. We also recently established the Asia Center of Excellence Laboratory as part of Rockefeller's periodic table of food initiative. This is a global effort that we've joined to facilitate harmonized methodology for multi-omic analysis of key foods, as well as molecular discovery of new food components. And in these two efforts, we're developing regional research capacity for coordinated analysis of biological samples and also food samples in population. Next slide, please. Generally, my colleagues and I were quite eager to discuss any collaborations in population food, diet, nutrition, agriculture, health. We've also identified 3 areas of the cluster work plan in which I think we're especially positioned to collaborate as a partner. These are planetary health and understanding the links between environmental degradation and health impacts, interventions in city environments to reduce risk of non-communicable disease, and relationship between infections and non-communicable diseases. So in these 3 areas, we also have projects ready to propose and additional collaborators to bring in if these would be pertinent to developing collaborations and contributing to your proposal. So for example, in collaboration with colleagues at McGill and Dalhousie University in Canada, we're positioned to conduct geospatial and temporal analysis of the relationship between selected environmental exposures measured using ground sensors and satellite images and health outcomes through secondary data analysis of population surveys. Second, in collaboration with colleagues at Johns Hopkins University and the World Vegetable Center, we're prepared to conduct implementation research to develop and test effective and scalable interventions aimed at improving the food and policy environment to reduce diet and nutrition-related NCD risk among low-income workers. And in collaboration with McGill Faculty of Tropical Medicine, we're prepared to conduct observational studies or secondary analysis of population data to understand associations between infections and NCDs, including type 2 diabetes. And that concludes my pitch today. Thank you very much for your attention, and we look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you very much. Next presentation from Alejandra Davidziuk. Please, your turn.
Here, I'm not sure if yes, you can see me.
Yes, okay.
Well, thank you very much. I'm very appreciate this time and this opportunity. I would like to present. My name is Alejandra Davidziuk. I'm an outreach manager at the Latin American Brain Health Institute, based at the University of Adolfo Ibáñez in Santiago, Chile. I would like to explain why BrainLat is the perfect partner for your future proposal related to neuroscience, computational models, transnational medicine, and mental health. Next, please. The Latin American Brain Health Institute is committed to support national, regional, and international research in brain health. BrainLat seeks to transcend disciplinary limits and reduce the regional impact of dementia. Our multidisciplinary research and our advocacy empower brain health leaders in Latin America and elsewhere. Next, please. BrainLat is proud to be part of an international network alongside Trinity College Dublin, University of California in San Francisco, and other participants in the Global Brain Health Institute. At the regional level, BrainLat is part of the Latin American and the Caribbean Consortium on Dementia, LACCD. Agustín Ibáñez, our director, is one of the LACCD's coordinator, jointly with Mario Parra from Cuba. This regional task force gathers experts from 10 Latin American countries and is focused on research as well as capacity building and implementation science in the context of changing dementia challenges. These key actions include a biomarker approach, a genetic and epidemiology work group, a dementia platform, a clinical trial program, non-pharmacological interventions, and transnational research networks. Next, please. Consider to take into account the Latin American region in your research because we have a unique genetic profiles and underrepresented local data to contrast with your European population. Next, please. To sum up, we would like to be an ideal partner. To sum up, I would like to explain you why would BrainLat be an ideal partner in your consortium and collaborative team. because BrainLab has extensive experience as coordinator and partner in international grants, NIH, Takeda, Alzheimer Association, Tau Consortium, etc., to implement research-based and capacity-building projects. In addition, BrainLab counts with a team of recognized experts working in key areas of brain health, with active connection throughout the Latin American region. Next one. We have identified just a number of calls in which BrainLab could be an asset. First of all, our researchers, Agustin Ibanez, Graciela Muñiz, and Gary Donovan, have generated evidence, including data about mental well-being and long-term brain health risk factors at different environments and how the pandemic affects populations. We could help to explore links between different health promoting factors in the working built environment and physical and mental health outcomes, and how they may be mutually reinforcing. Next one, please. At the second call, it's important to remark that the Latin American, the Caribbean region is one of the most unequal and diverse regions in the world. And in this sense, BrainLab, along with LAC CD consortium partners, focus on studying dementia and related non-communicable disorders in vulnerable populations. BrainLab's researchers have prepared specific guidelines to implement health interventions that decrease risk factors in dementia. Next one, please. In the third one, BrainLab could collaborate in the survey and analysis of new evidence and data generation to understand the resilience, mental health, well-being of health and care workers. We can also gather and analyze other non-occupation specific factors like genetics, social, etc., for disadvantages, geographic location in our region. Next one. And the fourth, algorithm models and methods for images and signals of the human brain. Also, Enzo Tagliasucchi and Hebab Adams have worked in different computational models of whole brain activity, from data to mechanism with application to brain health. BrainLab could collaborate with multidisciplinary teams in order to develop multi-scale and multi-organ dynamic and interoperable modular computation models. Next one. In addition of the Horizon calls, the regular ones, we please consider BrainLab for proposals in these other calls, like doctoral network, staff exchange, and others in Erasmus Mundus. Please, next one. We would like to collaborate in proposal as partners or associated partners. Please contact us and we'll find a way to do it. Next one. Here you have our email and you can contact us. It would be a pleasure to be in contact with you. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. And now it's Dermot Cox for the next presentation, please. So I don't know if we have Dermot online. Okay, so we will move on to the next presentation then from Gonzalo Justinho. We cannot hear you so far.
It's working now?
Okay,
Okay,
yes.
thank you. Good morning. My name is Gonçalo Justino. I'm based at Instituto Superior Técnico in Lisbon, Portugal, and together with my colleague Pedro Pinheiro, we are looking to participate in as partners in consortia related to environment, health, and to the cancer mission. Next slide, please. Our implemented capacity is centered about sample processing and biobanking, including human samples, about model development for drug metabolism, toxicity, and repurposing studies, essentially cell-based models, and also applying targeted and untargeted omics approaches to analyze the systems we are interested in. Next one, please. We can cover a wide range of biological samples, either fresh or stored, and using high-resolution mass spectrometry approaches, we are able to probe the proteome, the metabolome, and the lipidome of our samples and integrate all this data into a single data set that will allow us to highlight the biological processes and the biochemical pathways that are changed in our samples. Next one, please. As an example, by a simple ID protein identification and quantification coupled with untargeted approach of the whole metabolite space and analyzing the lipid mediators involved, we have been able to build a multi-organ description of the pathways that underlie some neurotoxicity effects of clinical drugs, and also to analyze potential repurposing applications of that drug. Next one, please. By integrating all the information from the multi-omics approach into a single biological network, we are able to deliver a unified mechanism of resistance to toxic effects, a unified mechanism of application to drug metabolism, and a unified view of repurposing actions. Next one, please. More in detail, we have been working with this approach to study the system response to disease at biomarker and pathways levels, to study mechanisms of chemical and biological toxicity of drugs, and also of radiation exposure. We have been analyzing some drug action pathways that underlie drug repurposing, and we are also developing novel approaches to characterize the immunoproteome response to xenobiotics and to diseases such as COVID. Next one, please. Within this call, we are particularly, but not only, interested in 4 topics: endocrine disruptors and exposome research, because we are able to highlight and finally identify the metabolic and proteomic changes brought upon external stimuli to the human body, and in particular to any kind of clinical samples. Next one, please. We are also particularly interested in contributing to tumor host interaction studies, because we have also been developing optimizing the required both analytical and data analysis strategies to study cytokines in detail from a usual bottom-up analysis approach. And the next one, please. And finally, and because we are able to use both fresh and stored samples, either liquid or solid, we can use basically all samples that come from the clinicians. We are able to contribute to the area of minimal invasive diagnostics by comparing control samples versus disease samples. And also in cases like amyloidosis, we are able to identify proteome shifts without the adequate control samples by resorting to internal housekeeping controls. These are our expertise. We are looking forward to participate with in your projects. Please let us know if you can be of any help. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I will now ask Andrei Minich to come for the next presentation.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so my name is Andrei Minich, and today I would like to present you some words around our company. It's called Medirex Group. I'm the part of Medirex Group Academy, but I'm gonna talk about the whole group in a whole. So as already the slogan says, we are the largest provider of laboratory diagnostics in Slovakia, and we cover more than 38% of Slovak market, mainly in west and east of Slovakia. Next slide, please. We are considered as a market leader since we own 3 clinical laboratories in Bratislava, Košice, and Nitra, as well as we cover 9 hospitals. We own our own hospital in Malacky, and we have 27 clinical laboratories as well as the same number of sample collection centers. This cooperation goes hand in hand with flexibility, since we can recruit patients and physicians in all these spots. So far, we have participated with more than 3,500 physicians or private clinics. Next slide, please. So I would like to present like in whole our expertise. Since we have that many centers, we are the leader in biochemistry, but so now we focus mainly on immunology and genetics, but we can work in other fields of biology as well. Next slide, please. So next, I would like to present shortly our Medirex group. We are divided to smaller entities. First one, the smallest one, is Trisomy Test. It's the smallest company, but this company is the best company in selling our best commercial product, which is Trisomy Test. Also, this small entity brings wide network in bioinformatics, informatics in a whole, and also next-gen sequencing equipment. Next entity is Medirex, combining Medicit. These 2 companies are the sample collection centers, as well as we provide here the laboratory diagnostics in all the fields of biology. As I mentioned before, this entity brings cooperation since we operate that many clinical sites. And the last one is Medirex Group Academy, which is a non-profit organization specializing in research and development in many projects so far, as well as we built our own bioarchive, and this will be storage under one roof with all the samples and all the data from all the projects we work on now and also in the future. Next slide, please. So as I said, we are a research and development company, non-profit organization. And here we highlighted some projects we are working on right now. But I would like to pinpoint our projects Digitrans and You Have Life, since there is a trend in healthcare to move more to digitalization. For example, in Digitrans, we use artificial intelligence to enhance our personal medicine. As well, in You Have Life, this project covers using autonomous aircraft such as drones to deliver samples from hospitals as well as organs. And next slide, please. So the topics we are interested in, we highlighted 4 destinations, but we are open to any consortium or any destinations or even calls that will be the perfect partner in. And the last one. And here are our contacts for me and for my other members of the project team. And also you can check our website for Medirex and also Medirex Group Academy to get more information. So don't be afraid to contact us, me and my partners. Thank you.
Thank you. We are now welcoming the next presenter, Ahmet Furkan Sifti.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm Furkan from Tiga Healthcare Technologies, and I represent our company. Next slide, please. TIGA is an information technology company focused on healthcare, and we are ranked first amongst healthcare IT companies in Turkey. Our head office is in Turkey, Ankara, but we have also offices in the UK, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar as well. Next slide, please. Here is our wide range of products. We are mainly have expertise in healthcare interoperability. We also have pharma management products, drug traceability, patient engagement, population health management, and electronic medical record systems products. We also have R&D products in personalized healthcare. Next slide, please. TIGA developed the National Healthcare System of Turkey, which is the central exchange hub under the Ministry of Health. And it is the backbone of all the subsystems in Turkey and collect PHR from the entire country. We integrated more than 120,000 healthcare institutions. Next slide, please. National PHR system in Turkey allows its users to access and manage their own health records. And we have the system is used by more than 125 million patients, and 65 million of them are active users. That creates over 6.6 billion health records. Next slide, please. What we can offer for the calls, we can offer remote exercise program solutions, and we can develop telemedicine platforms with more people-centered and high-quality services. And we can offer person-oriented home monitoring systems. Next slide, please. By person-oriented home monitoring systems, I mean that the track of the activities of the citizens in their homes with respecting their privacy. We can also provide a social technology service that encourages citizens to engage in physical activity with gamified features. And we already have 3 ongoing projects which are related to Silver Deal, and we can use that experience to move further. And we also have several contacts that we personal. Next slide, please. In the tool call, developing data quality call, we received 250 million packets with 900 gigabytes of data daily by TIGA. And Ms. Sophie? Okay. And second and third layer applications are implemented on this data by TIGA to extract reports. And we contribute to performing a mapping of existing data quality and utility principles. Since we also do it in Qatar and Saudi Arabia, also in Turkey, we are very experienced in that field. And we can pilot and evaluate the use of the proposed framework within this proposal. Next slide, please. As I mentioned earlier, we have several R&D products which are closely related to the current ongoing health goals. One of them is Closer. It's about elderly smart home. I have video about it on my profile B2B. We also have OncoLab, which is an automated robotic drug preparation system, and CPlay, which is a gamified rehabilitation for kids with cerebral palsy. We are extending these projects and fitting them more into the related health goals. Next slide, please. These are our awards from EU Commission, and this is IT 500 in Turkey. It's an awarding commission for IT companies. And next slide, please. I thank you for your attention. My contact is furkan@tiga.com. And we are open to collaborate in any call, not only in Silver Deal or data. These are the most related calls, but we are open to collaboration for another call as well. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you very much. It's now time for Silvia Riva to present
Hello.
the pitch. Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Hi. Good morning. Thank you for this opportunity. So I work at the St. Mary University in London, and as a Department of Psychology and Faculty of Health Science and Psychology, we are interested in some of the next call in the domain of health, particularly in the domain of cancer. So these are my main contact details. Next slide, please. And these are the main calls that we are interested in. We are one of the few groups in Europe that have started to develop a new instrument and new measure in the field of health-related outcomes. And particularly, we have started to analyze cost and financial burden in cancer patients. We have developed specific measures that are related with financial toxicity, and financial toxicity represents one of the new and also innovative aspects that should be considered when we evaluate cancer treatment and cancer patient evaluation. And this is the reason why we have put this Horizon call as a potential opportunity for us to collaborate. So we are interested in finding partners that may create a network with us. Next slide, please. As you know, cancer is a costly battle both for the NHS but also for families and caregivers. A significant number of cancer patients have significant difficulties, and particularly nowadays with the current financial crisis, with the critical political and economic situation due to war, also cancer patients and the healthcare system face new challenges. And this is the reason why the domain of cost and the domain of financial difficulties may represent an important aspect that could be considered within this call. So financial toxicity as a topic that can be included in this call. Next slide, please. So what's the role and what's the potential aspect of financial difficulty? To understand the relationship between patient-reported financial toxicity and health outcomes. And this may inform intervention for cancer survivors, for post-treatment, and may represent a relevant analysis that can be included in the call that are related with cancer. So what we would like to do is participate in a consortium where financial toxicity can be actually evaluated across the country and could be measured as part of this project. Next slide. So as I told you, the expertise that we can offer is that we are one of the first and a few groups in Europe to study financial toxicity. Financial toxicity is a topic that has been developed in the United States, but we are the first group that study financial toxicity in public health system and in Europe. I have access to a multidisciplinary team, and we have access to both hospital and also academia university that can collaborate with us. However, as you can know better than us, being in the United Kingdom, we cannot be coordinator of a project, so we can offer our expertise and offer also, links and connection with other partners. But we need an institution in Europe that could play a role in organizing and coordinating an action. Next slide. And I conclude with the main recent publication that we developed in these years and are related with financial toxicity. I think this is my last slide. Could you please check? Next slide. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. So it's now time for Chiara Bodraco, to present The next expertise.
Yes, thank you so much, and thank you for this opportunity to present our proposal of collaboration under the Mission Cancer, the Mission Cancer Call 0201. And I'm Chiara Baudracco from the European Program, a European Program Manager and Project Coordinator from the European Public Programs Department at EURECAT, that is a research technology center located in Barcelona, Spain, and with a very high level expertise in managing and coordinating European projects and proposal, thanks also through our quite large network of European partners. And EURECAT is a research technology center. What we do is applied research mainly, and the main areas of research that we follow are divided in the industrial one, digital, biotech, and sustainability. So for this call for the Mission Cancer 0201, we would like to involve and promote the research of our digital and biotech experts, especially from the digital health research area, and the big data scientists, as well as also the nutrition and health specialists. Additionally, we are also considering the human-centered design approach that we are also promoting internally. And our main objectives here are to demonstrate an increasing participation and adherence to the primary care prevention programs that are based on the multidisciplinary behavior change technique. We would like to understand and promote the individual social actions and the reaction by focusing on the unhealthy behaviors patterns. And last but not least, of course, the increased uptake of the European Cancer Code against cancer. Developing the evidence-based recommendation to prevent. So as most of you probably already know, and the Mission Cancer is a deep focus on the European Cancer Information System and all the problems that are increasing in the last years. So our main goal is to demonstrate an increasing participation and adherence to the primary cancer prevention programs, developing these behavioral change techniques. We act closely connected with their lifestyle and understanding their individual and social actions, focusing on their unhealthy behavior patterns that we are able to identify and adjust them to the psychological, social, cultural, and geographic response. Please. Yes, this is a very short diagram that can illustrate our main proposal idea. So we would like to promote the personalization of the participation of the users through different sources of data corresponding to the user phenotyping. So we are able to perform the clustering and the profiling of
So okay. Sorry, we lost you.
Okay.
4 seconds. Okay. You're back.
Okay. Thanks. We need to promote their and enhance their participation and engagement to the primary care prevention programs. So we will also give a strong focus on the patient empowerment and self-management to ensure a sustainable behavioral change, and make them aware of what there are the main risks of suffering the cancer disease. Next, please. Next slide, please.
We advanced the collaboration already with several European partners that we are in contact with. So we are trying to enhance, of course, this network. In the next slide, you will see the main expertise that we are looking for the impact research analysis, the investment part, occupational aspect, and cost benefit. So feel free to get in touch with me. You will find the email, and I will be happy to answer to your question. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's now Andero Usberg who's going to present the next expertise. So we cannot hear you.
Now it should be fixed.
Now, yes, perfect.
Yes. Thank you for organizing this and having me present. So I'm Andero Usberg, a psychologist from University of Tartu here in Estonia, and I'm leading a lab that's focused on how people regulate themselves. And I think this focus is relevant for quite a few calls in this program. Next slide, please. So what we are studying is how individuals regulate and as well as are regulated by their emotions and motives. If you click next, here are a few examples of what we do. Our main focus is trying to understand the cognitive mechanisms that are at play when people are able to change how they feel by kind of thinking differently about themselves and the world. Next. We also work with a broader set of emotion regulation and self-regulation processes that are relevant for mental health. If you go on next, you can see our focus on cognitive mechanisms. And if you go on further, you can see that we are also particularly interested in kind of applying this knowledge to interventions that are scalable and effective. Next. So here are a couple of calls that we find relevant for our work. Next, and in particular, we've been thinking about the call that deals with changing working environments, and we think that one key aspect that is changing is the level of autonomy that people have over when and where and how and on what they actually work. And this is not, a good or a bad thing in itself. It's a risk and an opportunity, but really leveraging this as an opportunity and minimizing the risk requires self-regulation behaviors, and this is what we could focus on next by working in one or all of the three following areas. So we have quite extensive experience in kind of conceptually modeling what's going on in self-regulation. So this can be applied to this more specific context. Next slide, please. We have also experience with devising self-report items to be used either in these kind of fast and frequent experience sampling environments or in more typical surveys. And finally, next. We are, of course, interested in interventions that can facilitate self-regulation, and there is a lot of valuable work out there. So I think a key contribution would be to kind of systematically map what's out there, but also there might be ways to come up with novel interventions, and all of these, of course, need to be tested. And if we go to the next slide, there's a unique opportunity to collaborate with a large business campus here at Tallinn. So it's the largest business campus in the Baltic region, and we have a collaborative relationship. So we can imagine running studies at that business campus that collect new data, but also validate, either the conceptual approach, some of the measures, or maybe most valuably the interventions. So. This is the summary of what we are doing. We're mainly looking for a partner, mainly looking to become a partner at larger consortiums,
focusing either on this specific topic or any other topic that would benefit from a systematic analysis of self-regulation. Here's my email, and I thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. So now, next presentation from José Aznar. We cannot hear you so far. Okay, I don't have any sound on my side. No, I cannot hear you. I can see you now.
Okay, I think now you can hear me, right? Okay, good morning, everybody, and thanks for inviting me to and having me the opportunity to pitch the project that we are proposing. Let me first very briefly introduce. Please next slide. Yeah, so I'm José Aznar. I'm part of Entity Data Spain. So please next slide. And I am yeah, next slide, please. Can you? It's okay, I will follow up in the meantime. So I'm responsible for health innovation at Entity Data. The previous one, please, previous slide. Yeah, this one here. I'm health project manager and responsible for health innovation and Entity Data email. And with this hat, I mostly work on the different European programs and in the scope of healthcare. Okay, so next slide, please. Yeah, so in this case, we are pitching an opportunity for State Healthy 0101, the Silver Deal, which is a strategic and very ambitious and very large opportunity. We are working this not only Entity Data, but also a couple of additional organizations, among them EureCat and FI Group, which are the core partners which have started this, the drafting, the opportunity that we want to work. And as I said, this is very strategic. It is 15 million euro to 20 million euro. Half of Europe should be there. And we have conceived a draft picture of the project that we aim to propose, having in mind this overall European scenario for personalization of care, for integrated care, for delivering services for users, and yeah, with the view of the vision on sustainability and solving some of the challenges that are depicted in the call. Let me very briefly go through these small aspects related to the challenges of the different stakeholders. On the one hand, the citizens, which clearly require from the services in a more optimal way. Also, health and social care workforce, which are experiencing shortage in the workforce, but also limited resources while dealing with their daily routine, and also for the sustainability of the healthcare and systems. So, next slide, please. We have been working on integrated care projects, on personalized care projects, and there have been a lot of initiatives in this sense during the last years. And still we know the challenges, the issues, the needs, this type of projects while proposing integrated care approaches, personalized care approaches, are lacking of or are missing, while also providing services and integrated innovative technologies in there. So that's why we are proposing the Gold for Silver proposal, which is a framework in the end. It's a framework that is focused on addressing the needs of the different stakeholders, mainly citizens, silver users, the workforce, health and care workers, and also the health and care systems themselves. And to that end, we have like three main blocks that we will work around. The first, a framework that enables us
the co-design and implementation of pathways, models, and integrated care approaches. Not necessarily new. It can be approaches that are already in place but could be enhanced or starting from scratch and covering the different assistance levels, covering cities, covering rural environments, covering the public and the private landscapes. So we need to consider all of these aspects while integrating this type of clinical and health partners. In addition, a second important aspect will be that we will be designing and proposing a platform for the definition, co-definition and implementation of the care services themselves that will implement or that will be embedded as part of the integrated care approaches, and that will serve as well, will be based on the main item of this proposal, the marketplace of technologies that will help to enhance, improve, and make easier the service provisioning for silver economy. Very important aspects as well is that we aim to validate and evaluate our vision in terms of sustainability. So next slide, please. Very briefly, as I said, we have a strong consortium already with wide experience, and we are aiming to incorporate the different stakeholders which are required and that you can see in the list. So thanks very much for your time, and in case you are interested in joining, please drop me an email and I'll be happy to discuss. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much. Now we will go back to the presentation of Dermot Cox, who should be online now, I guess. So just let me find your presentation.
Yeah, I can. Can you hear me now, Sophie?
Yes, I can. I just need a few seconds to go back to your presentation. Maybe you just can start presenting yourself.
So we're all familiar with the benefits of the electronic health records, but they work best when you have, you can go on to the next slide, and the one after that, Sophie. Yeah. But they work best when you have a unified healthcare system. And many European countries have more fragmented healthcare systems. And different institutes are using different EHRs which don't talk to each other. And then, of course, when we look at a pan-European healthcare model, different countries are all using different healthcare systems and different languages, which creates a big problem. Next slide, please. So to try and deal with this, the European Electronic Health Record Exchange format is being developed, which in effect will be a sort of a standardized way to facilitate EHRs for exchanging data. But even that is not really the optimum solution, since it's still a time-consuming aspect to go and try and download a patient's record. And what about all of the healthcare facilities in Europe that don't have EHRs? This exchange format doesn't help them. And of course, we can't rely on countries outside Europe using this exchange format either. Next slide, please. And one model to address this is one we've developed called the Unified Patient Record. And this is a single centrally stored record of a patient's healthcare from all different sources. And in real time, these data are integrated. And certainly the European exchange format will help that, but this can even work independently of that. Next slide, please. So Acquis Health then is the platform that we have developed. It's an open, it's a standards-based integration platform. And what it does is it aggregates patient data from all different sources, including patient-generated data through wearable devices. Next slide, please. So this platform is, as I said, a data exchange platform, and it creates this single patient record that gives you the entire picture of a patient's health. It uses all the standard models, HL7, and it will comply with the exchange format. It uses lots of different ontologies, any ones you like. It currently supports SNOMED, all the different variants of SNOMEDs, and ICD 10 and 11. And it's fully encrypted, multi-encryption. All aspects of the data are fully encrypted for security. Next slide, please. It has an identity management system, and it is an open extensible platform. There's no limit on its sizes and its ability to incorporate other technologies. It also supports multilingual. It can display contents in the language that you selected to do so. More importantly, I think, is that it also has an interactive patient portal. This allows patients to have access to their health data. It also allows patients to directly input data through wearables, Apple Watches, etc., into this portal, which can be reviewed by their doctor. And it's entirely device independent. Next slide, please. Acquis itself is an Irish IT company that is based in Silicon Valley, and it does a lot of work for the US government, where it runs the largest civilian database in the world for the US government. Next slide. RCSI, who has worked with Acquis to develop this technology, is the largest international medical school in the world. And we are in the top 250 in the Times Higher Education. Next slide, please. So we're interested in multiple topics. There are quite a few topics up there, as we see in this list here, including the European Electronic Health Record Exchange format, but also our platform would be very useful for supporting many of the other topics involved in healthy living and in managing real world data. And there are some of the key topics there. Next slide, please. I think that's it. So
that's the final one.
Yeah. So my contact details are there at the beginning, and I'm more than happy to consider coordinating one or two projects, but also to be a partner and to provide the platform for your application. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we will move now on to the final pitch from Sofa Alfian. So I just need to share the right presentation. And maybe I let you start just so I can find your presentation. Sorry. Okay, you can go.
Thank you, Sophie, for your help. Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon from Indonesia. Thank you for having me. My name is Sofa Alfian. I am a researcher from Center of Excellence for Pharmaceutical Care Innovation, Indonesia. For the next 5 minutes, I'm going to be speaking to you today briefly about our proposed project to develop a novel smartphone application for reducing risk factors of non-communicable diseases in Indonesia. Specifically, this is a case study in Indonesia. And this project is related with the Destination 3, particularly regarding intervention in city environment to reduce risk of non-communicable diseases. Next slide, please. Yeah, the primary objective of this project is to develop a mobile phone application for potential behavioral change intervention strategies to reduce risk factors for NCDs in LMICs. The big question probably is that why we need to focus in LMICs. The reason for that question is that there is an urgent need to tailor behavioral intervention strategies, as a distinct and specific condition for LMICs have been reported in many studies. For example, the first one is that patient-related factor, for example, lack of knowledge, lack of awareness, low health literacy have been reported as a main barrier for potential behavioral change intervention in LMIC. The second one is related to health system-related factor, for example, low access to healthcare, high healthcare costs, or poor health facilities. In addition, regulation-related factors, for example, weak tobacco control, weak regulation or taxation of unhealthy food and drinks have also been reported. Of note, the number of users of mobile phone application in LMICs is significantly increasing every year, which is a big opportunity for this project. Moreover, we have also our secondary objective to explore the feasibility of a proposed mobile phone application. Next slide, please. The application will go through a development process that is represented into 3 distinct stages. Stage 1 is to constructing a conceptual framework, the WHO based by concept, which is recommended in the 4 key risk factors for NCD's guideline, will be explored to conceptualize the framework. For example, we'll focus on tobacco control, alcohol use, poor diet, and also physical inactivity in accordance with the 4 key risk factors as mentioned by the WHO. And stage 2, developing a prototype for smartphone application. During this time period, the design and content of the smartphone application will be tailored to ensure its suitability for users. And lastly, stage 3, constructing the smartphone application using the prototype evaluation result. Evaluation of the preliminary outcomes in accordance with the 4 key risk factors as I mentioned before will be also then carried out. Next slide, please. For your consideration, we have developed a smartphone application technology to improve treatment adherence for tuberculosis patients in Indonesia. This is called a Smart TB project. This project was in collaboration with the Netherlands, Turkey, Spain, and Vietnam, and was funded by the Southeast Asia Europe Joint Funding for Research and Innovation. Some of the paper related to Smart TB has been published in a peer-reviewed journal. And we have also developed a telepharmacy application in Indonesia, which is one of the first mobile application for delivering pharmaceutical service in Indonesia. This project was funded by the Ministry of Research, Technology, and Higher Education Indonesia. And currently, we are developing a Pajajaran medication adherence scale for patients with chronic diseases in Indonesia, which also funded by the Ministry of Research, Technology, and Higher Education Indonesia. For more information regarding this project, please go through the link that has been provided in my profile to explore more about Smart TB and also the telepharmacy application in Indonesia. Next slide, please. Therefore, in this great opportunity, I would like to invite you to join in this promising project as an expert in behavioral change, as an expert in software development or other relevant field, to become a problem solver for this future challenge by reducing the risk for non-communicable disease in low and middle income countries. Thank you for having me. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much, Sofa. So that was the last presentation for the pitching session today. So I would just like to thank all the presenters from this morning for the very good presentation we had. And I would like to remind you that the recording of the pitching session and all submitted presentation will be available on the web, on the website of the event, like next week. And I would also like to remind you that it's still possible to book new meetings on the platform if you are registered for this afternoon. So if you are interested in booking new meeting, please do so. Good afternoon and good meetings to all participants, and please do not hesitate to contact the HNN project or your national health NCP if you need any help. Bye-bye.